Hello friends, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Trackmania Grand League Fall Season 2020, and we are coming up with step number 6, the final step. The final countdown has reached 0 on the clock, and we are here at the final stage of the groups for Trackmania Grand League, and we are going to see finally decided who is going to be part of the top 8, who is going to be part of the bottom 8, who's going to survive, who's going to be going home with tears in their eyes. However, we have a few storylines moving into this week's edition of Trackmania Grand League, as we'll get our game on screen for you guys. Now, of course, you may see on the left hand side of your screen that we do not have everyone on screen. We will be missing Yannick's. We will be down to 15. We also have some players such as Kappa, who recently came down with the coronavirus. Perhaps not seeing a full strength field tonight, unfortunately, as a result of these players having some health and personal issues. Certainly hope, of course, speedy recovery to Kappa, and of course wish all the best to Yannick's as he's going through some personal situations as of the moment. However, I am your host, TM Scotsman, and welcome to Team Secret's channel for Team Secret.evoN's charge at the top 8 today in step number 6 of Trackmania Grand League Season 2 Fall 2020. We will be having, as always, 2 new maps being replacing 2 old maps here. Now we will be starting off in a completely different set of maps and seeing a completely different duo of maps as our finale. Now, as we are a little bit behind time here, so some short technical issues, I will give you guys a little bit of an overview of what to expect for Trackmania Grand League Step 6 and to expect for Trackmania Grand League in general. So, Trackmania Grand League is played across 6 maps, and each of those maps will have 6 laps. You will get points depending on your position after those 6 laps on each track. Of course, points will be the most in the first places and the least in the last places. Now, in the first 2 maps, you will gain all of your points towards your total and be at no risk of losing any. However, in maps 3 and 4, you will be at risk of losing half of your points if you're in the bottom 50%. So that is positions 9 down to 16, or 15 in this case, which will be marked in red on the left hand side, live ranking on your screen. Also, in maps number 5 and 6, the final stage, the final 2 maps of the group stage of Trackmania Grand League. Bottom positions 9 to 15 will be punished with 100% points lost, so any points gained up until that time will be wiped clean. It is the clean slate which no one wants to start fresh from. Everyone wanting to be banking as many points as possible, but there is quite a few storylines coming into this week's event, going into, as we said, the final stage of this groups phase here at the moment. Of course, the main question on everyone's mind is who's going to be keeping a top 8 spot. Is everyone going to be keeping a top 8 spot? At the moment, your person on the very edge is Spam with a points all of 107. We also have Massa only just ahead on, well, Massa actually on 107 also, and Kappa on 114. Now that is position 6 through to 8. They are safe as things stand at the moment. However, in position number 9, we have none other than Team Secret.evoN on 88 points. So what he needs to do is he needs to score 19 more points than either Massa or Spam, or he needs to score, I believe it would be 26 more points than Kappa in order to steal their spots in the playoffs, as top 8 is the only goal here. Bottom 8 will have you being part of the Combine to be fighting for your chance to even be in this league next week. Other contenders such as Aurel, a further 18 points behind evoN, and also Scrappy, 23 points behind evoN. Perhaps even Tween, 44 points behind, who knows, but we will see as we are going to be getting started off. It has hit 8 PM, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to get live with step number 6 of Trackmania Grand League Fall 2020. And our map order is shaking up a little bit here. As we said, of course, each week 2 maps get removed, 2 maps get added. The first map is going to be Bumpy Jumpy. You can see here on your screen a little bit of a bubble track, so to speak. A lot of jumps, a lot of bumps, as the name suggests. It does exactly what it says on the tin. The second map will be Circles, both maps which the players have stated as relatively easier, perhaps. The semi-final maps, or maps 3 and 4, will be Dune and Glacier Hiking, and the final maps, the 2 new ones, will be Snow Step and Semiramis. But reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be chucking some support at our man evoN, hit Go evoN in the chat. Let's get some hearts by his name. Let's get some hype going for him. Let's see if we can round off this step not only with a top 8 finish, but also with some hearts and some Go evoNs going for the crowd. Let's get all the hype going for him as possible. He's going to need it. As we said, he needs a lot of points here today. He needs to keep a lot of momentum coming into Bumpy Jumpy to start off strong and to keep that strength going. Of course, there will be one less kind of amount of points he can lose, or sorry, one position spare we will have this time as a result of Yannick's unfortunately not being able to attend this week's event. However, there is still a murderer's row of opponents here. We have many world champions here. We have many event winners, future prospects, and all around gods of the game, Trackmania. So, without further ado, we have 20 seconds left and warm up for opening phase. Bumpy Jumpy will be contested for the final time, and the group stage will be all said and done by the time these 6 maps are over. Our Combine players will be decided, our playoff players will be ready and get set to go to fight for who will be the overall champion. But we are going to get started for map number 1 of step number 6. This is the final step, and let's get the Go evoNs in the chat as we start off here on Bumpy Jumpy lap number 1. Let's see a good performance last time here out of evoN, however made a little bit of a mistake through the dirt cut, which we will point out a little bit later on, but hopefully this turns out a bit better than last time. We see already a little bit of a mistake here. Now the players which you want to be keeping your eye on are the positions essentially from 6th down to 13th, I believe that is, or 12th, sorry. So Kappa, Massa, Spam, evoN, Aurel, Scrappy, Tween. These are the only players essentially who can compete for the playoff stages. Likes of Bren Riolu, Matt Woodneed, and Absolute Miracle. One of the best steps we've ever seen in Trackmania. So, Starting off with a few mistakes already is actually Scrappy and Aurel here already down. A little bit further down is Scrappy here at the moment. Pack and Bren rounding off this main pack here, and Papu looking for the lead so far through this first identity. A series of jumps as evoN makes a mistake here going through the identity. Will be able to recover to an extent here. Never finding himself in 14th position here. As the crowd gives their first chant of the game so far. Let's get them chanting, "Go evoN, guys, let's get the hearts going, let's get the hype going." Currently finding himself 13th now, as Gwen's actually made a rather sizable mistake here. The current points leader at 193. Will be wanting to keep all of those kind of points lead up at the top, however. Will be in danger if he starts leaking points as early as map 1. That's a little dirt jump which we were saying he did have some issues with last time. However, beautiful section there. Scrubs off his drift on the dirt nice and early and overtakes Aurel and leaves Scrappy in the dust. However, Aurel recovering very nicely here. But let's go up to the main pack here. Going through the identity for the second time, but it will be the final time this map will be played. As we see Tween's tomato face staring down at us from the corners. As now Massa actually takes over the lead, but going over the identity, and Tween makes a massive mistake there. I am not taking any accountability whatsoever, that was nothing to do with me. And Papu also dropping far, but they're falling like flies as Tween finds himself rooted to the bottom of the scoreboard. However, Papu's mistake is not punished as much as would have been expected. Now down to 13th, evoN now to 9th. However, he overtaken by Aurel momentarily, perhaps. Spamming a little bit of an island here at the moment. Finding himself far behind the battle for the top 8, but a little bit in front of the battle for 10th. So, let's check out everyone ahead. Afe, mistake there. You can see he dropped a lot of speed through that section. Spam now part of this pack. Speaking of packs, up there in second place, fighting with Carl Jr. and Bren for podium spots. Lap number 3 out of 6 here. Massa currently with the fastest lap. evoN looks like he's made another mistake. Finds himself in 13th, 4 seconds behind. Only in front of Gwen and Tween here at the moment. However, with these maps being the first out of all of them, they are the ones with the points which are the least likely to be kept, of course. There's a lot of maps to go. Not off to a great start as evoN here. However, Papu falls even further down here and he's 10 seconds behind now. And that's going to be disaster for Papu, finding himself out of reach of some decent points here. However, I'm sure he'll be just fine at 160 points, well clear of any potential combine dangers. Matt also one of the players who needs a biblical miracle here for anything to be going his way. Major speed loss there for Aurel. He's going to be dropping positions, he's going to be dropping seconds and positions here as he goes all the way down to 11th, but not far enough to behind to fall any further. Check up here is Spam, trundling along relatively nicely there, extending a little bit of a lead over the pack here. Afe now 6th place. Afe been a bit of a surprise package so far. People were expecting Gwen to be blowing everyone away out of the rookies at the very least, but Afe holding very strong so far this season. I believe he's in 5th position in front of Trackmania Grand League champions such as Kappa, of course, and right beside Kappa on track here right now. So direct opponents just answered there for evoN are Spam, Massa and Kappa. Needs 19 more points than either Massa or Spam, or needs 26 more points than Kappa. So either of which are definitely very possible. However, in 12th position here at the moment, that's going to be a lot of potential points which could be lost. However, as we said, this is map 1 out of 6. No need to be getting our panties in a twist already. As we check here, pack Thomas Cole up in first place for Molotovs and Marshmallows here. Carl Jr. with a beautiful section there, so much speed taken through there by the best of all time. Representing Solary. little bit of two wheels action there by Pack. Always one for maximising the amount of track being used as Pack pushes the limits to the very edge and then some. And going on to the final lap here. Crowd trying to cheer Massa back into the fight for the podium here. Let's check him out. This battle for the top four is relatively spread apart here. Check in with evoN, and he is in a little fight of his own here. Actually has overtaken Riolu, having made a bigger mistake there, did the German. And now up into 10th position, being hunted down by Gwen. But Gwen with a poor section going through there. And there is virtually no points which can be gained out with mistakes here for evoN. 4 seconds behind his closest opponent in front. Kappa losing a little bit of speed going through that first slide, and Aurel falling. Aurel having some very notable difficulties going through, and Afi just cut a little bit too close there. Bit off more than he could chew, as the saying goes, and he will find himself dropping a little bit behind, but not far enough behind where evoN will be catching. And Pack going into the identity on Bumpy Jumpy for the final time. Bren and Carl Jr. are the ones following up for the podium positions. It looks as if the podium is set in stone here, with Massa being half a second behind. It is going to be Pack taking map number 1 in style for 7:22. Bren second, Carl Jr. third, Massa, Spam, Aurel, Kappa, Scrappy, Afi, evoN, Gwen, Queen, Riolu, Matt and Papu will round off your map 1 victims, so to speak. So overall, not a great result for evoN in map number 1. All of the players which he does need to outscore here are in front, but essentially will be waiting for the points loss to kick in before we will be worrying too much about that. But currently sitting on, I believe it said 5 points there, as we move on to circles. This was a map, if I remember correctly, where some heroics or some rather lucky turn of events came round for evoN here, just on the verge of losing points. However, 2 players making mistakes very late on in the day resulted in evoN managing to keep points and get a great haul coming out of step number 5, which was much needed. Of course, put him in prime position to be able to get a strong point scoring in step number 6 and secure a points finish capable of getting him into the playoffs, as that is what it is all about. But let's get the go evoNs, keep them going guys, keep the support rolling, keep the hype train going. There are plenty of stops left. Stop number 2 is going to be circles by Link. This is a map where I believe evoN can definitely perform well. However, as it always seems to be, he is a very, very fast player. It's just a consistency, it's just avoiding some easy mistakes. Some easy and some not so easy, if I'm being fair, of course. Nevertheless, pressure makes diamonds. Let's see what evoN is made of in circles. As we said, it is only map number 2, so no points lost here at the moment. This is just about how much you can gain and try and hold into the later maps, but the later maps are, of course, going to be the most important, with a nice flip, or sorry, a nice turnaround there going onto the grass as we count down the seconds to circles. Here we go. Lap number 1 of map number 2 of step number 6. Starting off in a long ice left-hander here with a reactor boost. evoN opting for a largely different line than everyone else. You see with varying success, with everyone choosing their own way around the turns. Long slides coming through here for the players, and back onto another ice wall here as they transition back onto the tarmac, as Tween makes a big mistake. Tween's one of these players that's going to need a monumental amount of points. At the very least, Tween's going to need 70 points from this step, so if he doesn't get a strong result in this map, he might already be out of it mathematically. But we're not drawing on too much about that. Gwen making a big mistake there, required a massive adjustment. He's going to find himself losing some time and losing some places here. Nice inside slide there from evoN, but Scrappy and Aurel will have the speed on him. Going through the identity for the first time. Bit of an awkward exit there, as Aurel will now have the advantage. And also Kappa getting into this battle here. Some players opting to jump a little bit higher, will get some more speed, but will lose some more time as a result. And back on to the start of the lap here. Riolu makes a small error, I believe that was, and falls slightly down here, with Afi getting himself a little bit of a lead there, representing in the pink of BDS here, as evoN's going to be claiming some names. Carl Jr. and Scrappy falling in the next on his list. Up to 6th position, looking good in map number 2 for Team Secret here. And once again, a truly beautiful car skin, of course. Credit to whoever designed that. Carl Jr. having built up ahead of steam after being overtaken, as wanting 6th position back. Used to fighting for a lot higher positions as Carl Jr. of course. Much higher on the drift as evoN than Carl here. Will gain a lot more speed going onto this grass, but as you're taking a large amount of speed out of your slide, you will be able to catch up. Tween also back in the mix here. I believe that might have been someone making a mistake. It seems not clean through the identity as virtually everyone. Tween opting for a very tight line there. You will gain some time here, but you see how much speed he loses compared to Carl and Aurel. Massa and Spam also overtaking evoN here, leaking positions, however gaining them straight back going into the next lap. However, they will switch back perhaps. Actually, not only Carl Jr. managing to regain some time, and that was a beautifully executed section from evoN, now finding himself up into the battle for 3rd place here between Aurel and evoN. These are two players who will be going toe-to-toe for playoff positions here. Past map number 2. Tween's definitely not done with this fight here, but he's going to need a lot more positions than just 3rd. Massa and Carl Jr. are not done with this fight just yet. Tween going for a bit of an unorthodox line through there. And once again, a little bit of a difference in approach there. Carl Jr. cuts ahead, if only for a moment. Going for the inside slide once again. You can see the difference in inputs from all the players. Afi taking all possible inches of track there. Looks as if Massa dropped a little bit of time. Riolu also. Carl Jr. going for a little bit more airtime. Also, evoN not straightening his car out enough going through there, so does lose a little bit of time. We'll be looking to catch up in this group here with Tween, Carl Jr., Aurel, Pack and Afi the ones in front. Oh, but a lot of speed coming through there. Does scrub some of it off in the uphill, but is hunting Tween down. Closest behind here at the moment is Massa, 0.2 of a second. Nice inside line there from evoN, though. Tween went a little bit too deep there and will lose some time. Very close to the inside there. It's squeaky bum time. It is the final opportunity, of course, with step 6 being where it is all decided here. No players opting for that little line which Tween did on the other side of that little bollard there on the wall. Lovely coming through there from all the players. You can see Tween's nose just poking in here. He's not done with this fight just yet. No airtime coming out from any of the players, but Tween catching up by virtue of his different line. evoN's just not straightening his car out enough on this downhill. Let's see what he can do coming through here again. Scrubs off a little bit too much speed and will sacrifice the 5th position. However, does have a little bit of breathing room here as we move on to the penultimate lap here. Carl Jr. having taken the fastest lap and also taking a lead here as he flies into the challenge with Aurel and Afi here, but actually wilts a little bit as we see him fighting now with Pack just ahead of you. Gearing down to evoN as he fights more with Tween. He seems to be executing this section a lot better than the Slovakian. However, for a bit of a superior exit speed does Tween have, and as such he will regain the 5th position. These are important positions to be fighting for though. Carl Jr. still holds on to the fastest lap. Tween again going for that very strange line there. I'm not entirely sure if that is faster. Oh, Tween with a bit of a bad line going through there. That'll compromise his exit speed on the grass. However, we've seen Tween being a little bit better through this circle section. What the map is named after, of course. Tween cuts a little bit more inside through there. This will be better for evoN. Straightens his car out much more and gets some airtime. He should be able to gain some more speed here, but Tween had an inside line and as such will cut the distance he needs to travel. Let's see if any more of a gap can be regained here, though very close to that upside there. And once again hunting down Tween as evoN, so close to the inside, almost hooking a wheel up on the edge of the wooden section there. And now not managing to strike back through this section for once. Tween goes higher on the wall, he's going to have more speed as a result. Is this going to consign evoN to 6th place? Perhaps in danger here, as Gwen is not too far behind Massa either. Having dropped a little bit more does Massa actually. 6th place, however, on the 6th lap of the 6th step, and now has an attack coming from the Frenchman Gwen, the current points leader overall. Will he be the points leader after this step? However, a lot of speed coming on exit there for evoN. Oh, big high jump there. He might lose a little bit of time, but it looks as if Gwen has lost even more so. Carl Jr. going for quite a high jump there. He will survive, and as will everyone else. And looks as if evoN is going to have to settle for 6th place, but that is not a bad result at all from map number 2 there. Afi first, Pack second, Orel third, Tween fourth, Carl Jr. fifth, evoN 6th, Massa, Gwen, Scrappy, Kappa, Spam, Bren, Papu, Riolu and Matt are your order for map number 2. That is going to be Matt officially counted out, as well as Riolu. Will be impossible for them to reach the playoff stages. And I believe now also for Bren. A good points gained there. That brings us up to 13 points overall in top 8 now in this step. Currently finding himself in front of some of the opponents, however, as you can see there, 101 points, still 19 behind Spam. Massa's got a good lead here, 25 behind Kappa at the moment, so reeling them in very, very slowly. But now we move on to June. This will be the first of the maps of which points can be lost, and it will be half which can be lost from the bottom 7 positions. It'll actually be now positions 9 down to 15. This is a map we saw notably Kappa and evoN performing very well on before. Now Wheeler actually gets second overall in last season. So it's fair to say he's definitely been better. The question is, will we be seeing evoN in the playoffs this season? Right, go evoN if you want to make that proposition out any more likely. Keep up the good support. After this long dirt section in the warm-up. And we'll show off the identity here. A lateral dirt jump. You want to cut your air time as much as possible by jumping very, very tight to the next platform, as you saw evoN try to do there. And then you will have reactor boosts and bug slides here. Stage of them going down the hill here. And then into the next lap we will go. So, here we go. Lap number 1. Who's going to be the first to lose their points here? Who's going to be Pepe sad? Who's going to be white people happy? Keep up the go evoN's guys. He's currently on 13 points here. That's some good points so far. We will need more, and most importantly we'll need to keep all of these points. That's the most important part, of course. Want to be excelling where others will be making mistakes. evoN has said to me that he does feel very comfortable on this week's maps. However, the last map in particular, he believes a lot of players are going to be making mistakes on. So will that prove to be true? Let's see. Going through this grass section with the reactor is wearing off now just as they get back onto the tarmac. Bit of a shaky start here for TMGL. Shaking off a bit of rust in this map maybe. Very high jump there. But through an identity like this, we've seen a lot of players making mistakes here. See Bren already dropping down quite significantly. Massa flying off. And that's what we were talking about here. We see Scrappy having trouble, however he will recover. Bren also, but Carl Jr., Riolu and Massa already dropping down by quite a bit here. TMGL having some issues through the rest of the track. Let's see if we'll be able to regain his mojo here. Gwen currently in the lead, Aurel second. A key point also, Aurel is behind TMGL in total points here. However, we've seen Aurel is capable of a rather large points gap, or sorry, rather large points amount, big points hauls he can take from these steps. However, characteristically has been losing them. So he's also definitely a danger here. Bit wide on exit there for TMGL. We'll get some more speed. You can see him stretching his legs a little bit there over Carl Jr. On the hunt for Scrappy here from Team Lazarus. Gwen currently in lead. And going into the identity for a second time. Much lower jump here this time by TMGL. That will keep him relatively close to everyone else. Let's see how the identity treats everyone for the second time. Oh, big mistake there. Is he going to be able to land it? He's not. This is going to be a big amount of points, but a big amount of time lost here, and that's going to root him to the bottom of the scoreboard here so far. 15th position, and by quite a large margin there. Just went a little bit too close to the reactor boost loop there on the right hand side. Didn't switch his car round to the right hand side quickly enough. However, only at risk of losing 6 or 7 points here. Nevertheless, will still need a good points haul, and if he can't keep his points on this map, he's definitely going to need some good fortune coming later on. Yeah, just about to hit halfway on map number 3 here. Nice line there by Bren. Flying over the track a little bit there. A little bit wide, going to lose a space to Carl Jr. Been battling to stay in the top 8 here as we've been hunted down by Scrappy. And now the identity for the third time. Is Lady Luck going to bite any of these boys in the ass? Let's see. Oh, Tween had to change up his slide a little bit there. That was very awkward for the Slovakian. And you can see he's losing time through this identity. Carl Jr. and Scrappy have overtaken him by quite a margin here. Oh, and Bren falling all the way down. He's going to lose a lot of time coming through there. And that's going to be his points at severe risk as he falls even further behind TMGL now. Riolu far behind. Tween also drops into the red with Carl Jr. Spam now being in the hot zone. Massa currently with the fastest lap here, so he does find himself in 12th. However, with a good potential to regain some points straight away with the fastest lap. As the points taken away go for the points you had up until that section. Spam sitting pretty in 8th place here at the moment, but does still have his perennial opponent Tween less than a second behind, so any big mistakes here and Alliance will be having their hat in the hand, knocking on the door, asking politely to be part of the playoffs, and having it slammed in their face. Oh, big mistake there from Spam. You see he lost the slide a little bit there, and that resulted in him sliding straight backwards, but as he had the reactor boost he was able to recover well. However, he has sacrificed as 8th position to Carl Jr. here. No big mistakes as you can see on your left hand side. But Carl Jr. now the one in the hot zone. Spam will be wanting to keep all of these points, of course. All 13 points of these will be useful, especially considering how close it is between all the players fighting for the playoff spots. All it takes is one mistake, as you've seen. Papu now taking the fastest lap. Let's take a look up at the lead. Gwen being hunted down by his compatriot Papu here. However, that does not mean there will be any team tactics whatsoever. Happy in third, Kappa fourth. Oh, Gwen, a little bit of a mistake there. However, recovers easily. All perfectly calculated, no doubt, but look at the speed Papu takes into these little loops here. Both players opting for different approaches coming through this section, but that is beautifully executed by those players. And we're seeing players dropping down left, right and centre, though most notably Carl Jr. falling all the way down. I believe Matt's lost quite a bit of time here. TMGL all the way down at the bottom, of course. But Massa and Spam here are the two in the red. This is good news for TMGL at the very least. If Tween can stay ahead, that means TMGL's closest opponents lose points along with him, and Massa's fastest lap has been ripped away. Papu now with a 1:24.47. However, lap number 6 out of 6 here, so they're running out of opportunities to get themselves in the top 8 here. The all-important positions. TMGL 9.5 seconds behind, so he's not going to be catching up on this group anytime soon. It looks as if it's going to be Gwen and Papu here for the win though, but it's all important. Who's going to be getting the 8th position here? Tween and Spam. Tween opts to go for a little bit of a release there for a different approach going through this jump. Now who's going to have the best identity? Let's check from Massa's perspective here. They're all going to go for it all or nothing here. It looks as if Tween's being the one left behind. Spam falls all the way off. He's going to lose his ability to fight in this, and Massa's going to be able to take home the 8th position, sacrificing Tween gladly, of course. Spam dropping points there. So Carl Jr., Riolu, Matt, TMGL and Bren will be those going home with little to no points. TMGL might be going home with no points if he keeps that up. He needs to finish here. He's got a 30-second time window. Falls behind Bren now with that late mistake, but he will be able to make it no problem. But that is a poor result there for TMGL for sure. And let's see where that leaves them overall. So TMGL 9 points only here so far. Again, for those who are not familiar, his direct opponents would be Kappa, Massa, Spam, Aurel and Scrappy. Aurel and Scrappy behind. Spam, Massa and Kappa in front. TMGL's sitting on 9th position here, meaning he needs to gain at least one spot here. Now we move on to Glacier Hiking. This is definitely where push comes to shove here though. These are the maps where the big points can start getting lost. Of course, still only halfway here. This is one where actually I believe TMGL ended up winning on this map previously. So capability to recover straight away is right here. But let's check the point standings overall while the warm-up is on. So TMGL actually gets overtaken by Aurel at this rate, 97 points to 99. Scrappy 11 behind on 86. Spam is 22 ahead on 119. Massa 33 ahead. Kappa 37 ahead. So definitely map 4 is where he needs to make things happen here. Needs to hope the likes of Aurel, Massa, Scrappy, Papu start losing some points. Question is if they will do it though. That is always a perennial question in Trackmania. Can you rely upon your opponents to make mistakes? More often that answer is yes. See this identity going over a reactor boost and then a long ice slalom. Back onto the dirt for the next lap. And that is glacier hiking, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen a lot of players falling down here on this map. evoN might not have been the fastest, but he certainly took advantage of the most mistakes. And here we go, so our warm-up is over and map number 4 is just about to get underway. Be in the top 8. That is the goal not only of this map, of this step, as the screen is reminding us here as we kick off the third last map of the group stages. This is step number 6 if you're just tuning in or you've had your head under a rock. Buried in the sand perhaps. Good starts for a lot of these players though. For those wondering why there is only 15 players driving, unfortunately Yannick was unable to participate this step. Beautiful ice section there from evoN. That was something out of initial D there as he flew past about 7 bodies there. They partied like the sea in the Bible. And as such he gains a lot of positions there. Gwen opting maybe, I don't know if that was a different approach, a little bit of a tactical decision there, but nevertheless does lose some spots here as Tween shoots ahead so far as we finish map number 1. With Tween being the one here in the lead currently. A little bit of a shaky end to that lap there did evoN have. Seen Matt drop down and drop a lot of positions already. Pack also overtaking evoN here, but still in 8th position as evoN. Big points losers after lap 1 would be Orwell and Scrappy, but Spam actually respawned there and falls all the way down. Not sure what happened there to the Netherlander, but it was bad, that's to be sure. And up to 6th position here. This was much like what we saw last week. Just driving relatively safe and keeping the car on track, yet still gaining positions nonetheless. Not a lot of speed through there, but he does land early as we see a big beautiful secret billboard there on the outskirts of the track. Pack trying to overtake evoN here. Oh, Pack makes a small mistake there. Alfie also dropping a lot of speed in evoN. No idea, everyone's shouting, what happened to Tween? Is Tween bugged out? What's happening? The crowd's cheering, I don't understand. I think everything's broken. It registered Tween as completing everything. He must have lagged out or something. I have no idea, ladies and gentlemen, but it does not matter. At the moment, we would then count evoN as being 5th. We either assume for 1, Tween has disconnected, or 2, Tween is still driving and we can't see him. But that's massive news for Pittsburgh Knights. That's going to essentially kill their hopes of reaching the playoffs if it turns out that Tween has actually made that big mistake, or has actually disconnected or something like that. Made a mistake so large it crashed again. Forehead. I bet you no one will beat the time of 2:08 though. Maybe curious how that counts the fastest lap though. Gwen with a massive lead so far here though. evoN currently 2nd. 3rd on the scoreboards. Now this is what we talked about, keeping it nice and easy. Does anyone know if Tween is still currently driving? As it looks to be, he is killed. You see there, just puts him in helicopter cam, but regardless, we'll not focus on that just now. We'll focus on the fact that Team Secret are looking good for a podium position so far in this map of glacier hiking. Yet another good result looking for here for evoN. Ignore the live ranking on your side for the seconds, just look for the positions. Aurel, Spam, Papu, ooh, and the round has been skipped. That's a very interesting decision though. It seems to be Tween's lagged out, and the reason they seems to have restarted it is because in the event of Tween disconnecting, it counts him as first. So the person who was in 9th position would lose points without him actually being in the bottom 8. I think that's why they done it. Because it didn't just lag Tween out, it counted Tween as first position. So it would have unfairly put someone into the bottom 8. Nevertheless, that's got to be gutting. Nevertheless, you can do it once, you can do it again. And hopefully all works out. But I'm sure those who made big mistakes will be breathing a massive sigh of relief there. But we'll have a quick break here while we wait for everyone to get ready to go. Not entirely sure. Let's see, is Tween back on? Tween gains 20 points, ladies and gentlemen. Is driving. Or is he actually driving? At least as if there's some tomfoolery about, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure entirely what's happening, but as soon as I know, you will know. You can rest assured. Just await everything to get going again. And map number 4 out of 6. Scrappy here, continuing to warm up. Scrappy, definitely one of the contenders for the top 8 spot. And of course, runner up to last season's Trackmania Grand League. Scrappy, definitely a very capable player. No information so far, however. We'll take a quick breather, ladies and gentlemen. Go and get a drink of water. Have a toilet break, but not a number 2 because we might not be that long. Seems to be here a little bit of a breather. However, we are resuming match. Everyone come back. Here we go, we are starting off once again. Why is Tween driving off to the side? I don't know what's happening. Yeah, because it's still counting Tween as winning. So, everyone okay if you went to the toilet? Everyone can go back to the toilet, it's all good, guys. But in the meantime, enough with complaining about all the rest of this, guys. Let me see the TMGLs in chat. This is the perfect chance to get ahead of everyone in the support. Get the hearts going. Get the crowd cheering our name. That's what I want to see, guys. That's what I want to hear. Don't want to make my Christmas, guys. I know it's October, but my birthday was last month, but I'm sure you guys can do me a solid. But we'll see here a little bit more of the players practicing while we get ready for everything to be resumed. While we wait for the script to be exhumed from the dead. It's unfortunate, but issues will plague every tournament, I suppose. Or maybe that's me just a little bit too used to Trackmania, I suppose. But resuming match, and we're about to get running and get back underway, but it still looks bad. I'm not sure what's happening, but we're going to assume everything's fine as we start off once again. Hopefully we are all fixed, and we are. Is Tween driving? Tween's driving, ladies and gentlemen. We are underway. We are getting going with map number 4, and let's hope this time we're going to see a repeat of the last time where we saw TMGL managing to hold strong and up there in the top positions. If not, we're going to be a very angry chat. I'm going to go fight someone. No, we're not. Not pitchfork time yet, ladies and gentlemen. Up. Do that long slide. So many positions gained, but bad exit. And we'll be able to keep some positions here. Bren trying to risk it. He knows it's all or nothing now. However, nothing for Brent. House wins. Gwen is out of luck and out of chips. So far at the moment, though, going into map number 2, Queen performing well once again. I'm sure he'll be happy it's restarted, keeping his hopes of top 8 alive, albeit slender hopes. He is very far behind. Really also a name we're not used to seeing up here at the top. Has been having a lot of issues in this season. Very, very talented player. He is out of the playoffs at the moment, will not be able to participate by being too many points behind, and he is overtaken here as well as Kappa, and that was a beautiful ice section there, once again breaking out the initial D skills as evoN. Lot more speed coming in there, all the heat coming through there from evoN, nearly clipping his CP. You need to watch out because there's a head level there for evoN, but oh, that's a big mistake. Oh, he's going to have to respawn there, that's bad. So just came into there a bit too hot. You see also some other players having to respawn. Everyone's failing going through that section. So might still be able to keep some points here. Finding himself in 10th position, that's not terrible. But that's definitely not good. 2.6 seconds behind. Just went in there a little bit too hot. And you saw his car slid off the reactor boost. Now what would have happened there, the reason he respawned, even though he had the reactor boost, is it would have ran out before he was finished the ice. So that meant he would have been sliding his way straight off the track at the end. There's some very close competition here with Gwen trying to keep up. And Matt being his closest target up at the top. At the moment in the top we have a lot of opponents here for him. The only one, Spam, being the one of which is close to him in points. You see here Aurel in 7th. We see Scrappy in 6th here at the moment. Kappa 4th, Massa 2nd. Tween is miles ahead here at the moment. Oh, and that's another big mistake. I think that's Matt falling down. So both Gwen and evoN are on the verge of getting into the top 8 here. You just need to await one more player's mistake, but half of the track is done here. Oh, and that's another big one. evoN's going to be down and out here. You could see the risk coming, he just didn't have enough space there on the left hand side. Clipped the road and just didn't manage to get back on track. He needs to get his head back on straight here though. Can't dwell in his own head here. Need to hope some other of the close opponents to him start getting dragged down and losing points here. Seems here Gwen is the gate holder of the top 8 so far now, going into lap number 5 out of 6. And we see here at this time is 1.5 seconds behind. Bren's DNF. Spam's made a massive mistake, so he's going to be one with his points and his position massively in danger here. That's going to even him up with evoN at the very least overall. There's still some commiserations here. However, the important point in the battle here is now that Aurel is far ahead. This means that he will not only overtake evoN in points, but he'll actually overtake Spam in points potentially. And Scrappy's definitely in with a fight as well. We need to all be careful. So the two of these battle coming through this section. Both players opting for different routes. Oh, Massa had to respawn. Massa's going to be losing a lot of time, a lot of places. He's going to fall out, and no doubt Carl Jr. might as well. But it doesn't seem to be the players behind will be close enough to pick up from these mistakes. Oh, Massa all the way down to 7th now. That puts Kappa and Aurel in golden positions up in the top 3. Massa will still keep his points, though. That just goes to show how difficult this track is. Everyone's losing their points. .11 seconds behind first place is Carl Jr. and he's still in with the top 8. Tween is 4 seconds ahead of his closest opponent. This is a monumental performance by Tween. This would be some heroics if he was able to make it in this late on. Aurel lost a position there. He does have the fastest lap as well. He's going to need every ounce of points, but he does manage to secure it there. After Scrappy and Aurel will round out the top 5 of Kappa taking second. Gwen, Massa and Carl Jr. round out your top 8. Matt, Evon, Pack, Pack flying into the finish there. Papu, Spam, Riolu will all finish. Or will Papu finish actually? Riolu tries to flip into the finish, but he does fail. Will he make it this time? No. Temp number something. Oh, come on, come on. No. Go for a khaki finish, full speed. No. Unfortunately not. Our dreams have been ruined. So, currently as it stands, things are not looking good for Evon as map number 4 finishes. We'll now move on to map 5 here, which will be the first to have all points lost if all goes wrong. And the first map in this cycle is going to be Snow Step. Is this going to be the golden step though? We're going to take a quick check in with Evon and see how he feels. Bear with us one moment and make sure he's ready, and in the meantime we'll show you the league ranking. Hello Evon, tough luck so far in this step. Few mistakes here and there and an unlucky restart there. Give us your thoughts so far on step 6.
Well, it didn't start well, but I was kind of shaky on bumpy jumpy anyway, so I kind of expected this. Circles went pretty well, I have to say. Then third map Dune, I don't know. Identity just didn't work. I'm kind of sad about this, but well. Then map 4 was the glacier hiking. I don't know, there was so many restarts, it just went into my mind, I was unfocused. It was pretty annoying, because I was doing really good. Yeah. I was 3rd place, I think. Yeah,
you were either 3rd or 2nd. We couldn't really tell what happened to Tween, apart from the fact that he essentially registered him as finishing all 6 laps. So I believe that's why
he finished.
Yeah, he finished the entire thing. So yeah, that's very unfortunate. But talk us through the last 2 maps. I mean, at the moment we're still within fighting distance of getting into the playoffs. It's just going to take, I suppose, a throw of the dice. Some good 2 maps from you and some bad 2 maps from some other people. How are you feeling?
Well, exactly like you said. I feel really good on last 2 maps. I mean, the last map is pretty shaky for me. I'm not that good on it. I kind of dislike the map, but it's really tough, so I think I might have a chance. But the map 5 is really good for me, but I hope I won't jinx it and won't do good on it.
Oh no, you let the jinxies fall on the casters, that's our job. But is there any specific people you've kind of picked out here that you expect might not be performing as well? I mean, we've noted that of course Kappa was saying he wasn't feeling as well as he was coming down with an illness. Is there any players you've got your eyes on, you want to take their spots? Of course, I mean, there's a lot of players in range.
Well, there's many people that I don't think train that much because they're already in playoffs. But I don't know, not really.
Fair enough. Well, that is the first half of the warm-up, or the pause done. I'll let you get back to it. 3 minutes left and we'll be cheering you on from the sidelines, hoping you manage to secure your spot in the playoffs and get the chance to the grand prize which you deserve. But best of luck, man.
Thank you.
And there we go, guys. Evon, who is currently 10th overall in this step. Now, the important parts to note here when we look at the points overall. So, your top, so we look at the ones who are in contention. We've got Kappa, we've got Massa, Spam, Aurel, Evon, Scrappy, and even now Tween with that last win. So, Kappa's 148 points, but currently 34. Tween is 35. Aurel has 38. Scrappy 31 and Massa 30. So they all have a great amount of points. The other 2 in this battle, Spam and Evon, have a small amount of points. So they have a lot of points there to be lost, and if they do lose them, then all's going to be going straight down the toilet. However, even if Tween manages to win both maps, that will gain him another 40 points, putting him up to 119. So Tween does need a miracle. He is definitely capable. However, the players you'll really be keeping your eyes on, TMGL, and Scrappy, they are all within striking distance of Spam here. Maximum points difference of 21 between Spam and Scrappy there. And of course, now we move on to the last two maps, which all the points will be in danger. So even a little 10 points which Spam has gathered up until this point can't all go straight down the toilet. But we will move on to Snow Step by Link and Tona. Now, as you heard exactly there, TMGL talking about how he felt this definitely was a difficult track. The last two maps were especially difficult with Snow Step and Semiramis. However, particularly the last one, this identity consists of a series of cut jumps here. So first grass onto dirt there as you slide over, and then ice back onto some more ice. A little bit of a slope down here. Can be very difficult to time that and execute that to perfection. And then a final jump going through the start finish straight. So very unfortunate in terms of the restart, especially for the likes of TMGL. You can only think, I mean, that has been a potential 16 points plus. The 6 points that were lost here, putting them on 20 plus, would put them significantly closer to the battle for the top 8, but there is no use crying over spilt milk, ladies and gentlemen. Shit happens, as they say. It's a family-friendly stream, ladies and gentlemen. We get told off, but 20 seconds remaining. I'll take a quick water break, and we will get started off on Snow Step, and the final phase of the group phase will get underway. But just because map number 5 is about to start doesn't mean I want to see you guys slacking off on the go, TMGL. Now is not the time. He needs all of our support, all of our power. Give him your energy, ladies and gentlemen. Spam it to your heart's content. You have my official permission. And it's going to be all or nothing for the final 2 maps of the group stage. Is it going to be playoffs? Is it going to be combine? It is all going to be decided in the final 2 maps of Trackmania Grand League Fall 2020 group stage. And we get underway. 30 seconds deep into the map, and already fighting near the top is TMGL, so this is a great sign to start off with. If I did see correctly, has the 3rd best 6-lapper time here. However, having heard some of the players speak, they do feel that this is going to be a map where you're going to be having it decided by mistakes rather than by the sweat of the players' brows, so to speak. TMGL overtaking and into 3rd place here. Gwen and Pack, the only 2 ahead, going through the slowdown on the snow there. The snowdown, I'm going to call that. I'm going to forget that by the time the next lap's here. But you'll see a lot of players going for some different approaches here. This is the primary difficult part here, and TMGL already has to respawn. That's bad news. He's failed it again. It's not good, ladies and gentlemen. He lost a lot of time doing that. And that's going to be so much time lost. He's fallen so many seconds behind. That's going to be 8 seconds behind here, no doubt. But it's not over yet. We've seen how it can strike once, so we've seen how we can strike them all. And this is going to put him only in a battle for 14th with Pack here. And you can see there the other ones to make mistakes. Name in the list would be Carl Jr., Papu, Scrappy, Tween, Matt. It's essentially going to need to be a top 8 and a map win here for TMGL, otherwise it is all over. We're going through this section here with Carl Jr. is in the red zone as well, but him, Papu and Scrappy are all going to be safe. Oh, sorry, him and Papu and Pack, pardon me, are all going to be safe in the playoffs no matter what. But here we go into the identity for a second time. This jump significantly easier, but the ice one, a lot of players opt to go a lot higher up. Danger of clipping the outside. However, looking a lot safer is the most important point. It's been extremely close on the inside and outside. They're cutting it so fine. I thought he was inside the walls. He might have been. He might be hacking, guys. That might have been why he finished so early. Pressed the wrong button on his keyboard and bam, there he goes. Then he picks up the Hillis hotline. But Gwen currently in the lead of this map here, as you see on the left hand side of your screen. And Matt, for one of the first times, is still in the top 8. He is out of playoffs contention, unfortunately for him though. Lovely section there from Scrappy. Will gain a lot of speed going through there. Spam, the closest player in danger though, finds himself in 4th place. He's going to need to keep himself ahead of Arel, or hope for big mistakes in the last map. But that's definitely not a route you want to go down. Going through the fragile section onto the slowdown. Identity for the 3rd time, passing the first half of the map here. May take a lot of mistakes for some of the players to be catching up here. Small mistake there from Scrappy. Oh, Matt, big mistake there. He's going to find himself out of contention. And that's going to be another player falling further down by Papu even here. Carl Jr. will be trying to overtake, no doubt. Although for token points here at the moment, TMGL the furthest behind so far. And he's got so many players to go through and they're just not making mistakes here at the moment. And you've got to think what map 6 has in store for us. However, some at the top have made some mistakes, making the battle for the top 8 a little bit easier on those behind, but the question is whether it'll get easy enough. With Bren falling further and further as time goes by here. And he's now going to be in the red zone. And not the PUBG one where it blows the crap out of you. That would be at least a bit more entertaining. 5 seconds of a gap does TMGL have to this top 8. Is Scrappy, the current gatekeeper, followed by Rielu, the current tail chaser, I suppose. Oh, Rielu beautifully executes that, as does everyone in front. Seems to be TMGL and Pack were the ones having the main trouble with it, and of course at the crucial moment, Gwendo in the lead by quite some margin, also with the fastest lap, looking to end off Trackmania Grand League Season 1 and, oh sorry, Fall 2020 in style, pardon me. Looks as if Papu's made an even bigger mistake though. TMGL trying to draw that little bit closer. He's going to need to essentially overtake all 3 of these people for points or get the fastest lap and then win map 6. Oh, slows down a little bit there from that bump, but he was going to have to slow down anyway. Penultimate lap here. Oh, Afe makes a big mistake. That's going to make it easier for some of these players to catch up. Rielu might be getting himself back in the battle here. Everyone is hunting down with all they've got, but the question is if that's going to be enough. Matt's going to drop down. That's one more position there and up to 14th, or sorry, 13th for TMGL. It's still possible, ladies and gentlemen, but it's certainly not probable. See if everyone will make it through here unscathed. Gwen is in another dimension here at the moment. Everyone makes it through relatively unscathed. Afi jumps a little bit high. But looking if they are good to go here. Massa has to respawn. He's going to fall very far behind. Pack's going to overtake him. Carl Jr. maybe even. Matt falls even further behind, but TMGL's had to respawn as well. So that's going to be all points gone for TMGL no matter what. Massa's going to have his points eviscerated as well. There's going to be a lot of people in danger of going down to the combine. It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. As they said, the last map can decide all. So let's keep the TMGLs going. Let's keep the support coming. Beautiful section there by Riolu, but let's focus on the battle. I would say the battle for the lead. There is no battle for the lead. Aurel is light years away from Gwen here. 3 seconds ahead as a young Frenchman. And performing beautifully. That started off relatively shaky in Trackmania Grand League. Some were questioning if the hype was a little bit too overblown there for Gwen. However, proving his doubters wrong. And finishing in first place, 60 points coming off of map number 5 there. Aurel gets second, Tween third, Spam fourth, Scrappy, Afi, Riolu and Bren will all keep their points. Massa, Kappa, Pac, Carl Jr., Papu, TMGL and Matt will lose all of their points. The playoff positions are still in question, ladies and gentlemen. The question is, who will they go to? Let's take a look here. So, Aurel has moved into the top 8 here. Kappa's moved down into the danger zone. Massa's moved down into Combine. Let's take a look here. So essentially, TMGL has to win. There is absolutely no cause for error here. Although... No, yes, absolutely has to win. There is no option but a win and possibly needing the fastest lap as well. On Semiramis. First place gets 20 points and 2 points for the fastest lap. Absolute maximum effort needed here. Channel, he's in a dead pool. For this map, which he did tout to being one which he did feel good on, but also he felt was very difficult, and he imagines players are going to be making a lot of mistakes here. If Aurel loses his points, then he'll get that position. Scrappy loses his points, he'll get that position. But the main question is, Spam, Massa, they're the only ones who can be overtaken at this point. And it was a 19-point gap to begin with. Also needs to count on Scrappy failing. Who else? Scrappy failing, yep. A lot of lateral jumps there through that identity. So again, top 8 is the magic number of positions here. So I'd imagine these points need to be at about 111, something like that. As if Spam loses all his points, he's got 20, he'll go down to 107. But who knows, ladies and gentlemen, but let's lend him your hand. Let's lend him your energy. Power him on to a historic victory this would be. You can type it in lowercase, you can type it in capitals, you can type it backwards for all I care. But that map number 6 out of 6 is where the final player fates is going to be decided. And let's see if that's going to be good for us or bad for us. Of course, in TMGL's position, you really have no other option than all or nothing. When all is all you can afford. In the top 8, but that is not what matters in this map. It's what matters in the step, and that is not a position he is currently holding. And there is a few other players here capable of spoiling the day, but what an identity there from TMGL. But he makes the mistake, and that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be TMGL out of contention for Trackmania Grand League Fall 2020. He is going to be perhaps keeping his points, but definitely not going to be getting the top position needed to get into the top 8, and that's got to be a gutting feeling, especially after last week. But you saw he put it all on the line for you guys, and we can definitely not fault him for that. And before disconnected, restart. Poor him. Anyway, Matt makes the mistake. However, let's try and get a look see as to will be part of Trackmania Grand League 2020's playoffs here. So again, Massa, Kappa, Aurel, Spam, Scrappy, all within contention here. Tween needs 20 points as well. He needs 20 points and he needs Spam to lose his points. Anyone else? Yeah, he needs Kappa or needs Aurel to lose his points also. Scrappy's 40 points are going down the toilet. So Tween is in a pretty intense position, I think you would say. Carl Jr. and Papu have already fallen behind, but that's as to be expected when, of course, they are already secure for the playoffs. Let's check out a little bit further up the field here. So, Kappa in the points loss at the moment. This means if he's not careful, he might get kicked out. Who knows? Aurel still in 7th position here though in lap number 3 out of map number 6. The identity for the 3rd time here. Players not really taking a lot of chances coming through here, but Aurel gets that nice and smooth. Opting for the same kind of approach evoN had. evoN's actually caught up substantially in 11th position now, but as we said, a little bit too little too late unfortunately. That was Afi dropping. He'll be dropping quite hard here. 57 points potentially being lost, but he should still be safe. Massa and Spam here. Massa on 5 points, Spam on 20. How close is Massa here? He's within 7 points of Kappa. So he's going to need to go all or nothing here. Overtakes Spam, leaves him for dead there. And now on the hunt for the Slovakian Tween. Tween might have a great performance so far in this step, but he's going to need even more from his opponents to have a bad performance in order for him to be able to get that miracle run. And considering how far back he came from, and also Scrappy in with some contention here. He has 105 points, so he can definitely be even more dangerous here, but he needs to keep his points. Massa's in a little bit of a hot seat here. He needs essentially a third or a second. And he needs the right people to lose points, but the right people are not currently losing points. The only person losing points is behind, and that's evoN and Scrappy here. But they're not behind Massa in points. Scrappy now even keeping his points, so he might actually overtake, depending on how everyone else finishes. Afi also one to fall down. Oh, but Scrappy makes the big mistake, and that's going to be his hopes of playoffs ruined and in the gutters here. But those that are in with a fight should just be remembering, if their position is safe, the likes of Spam has a good positional advantage here. Aurel and Kappa have an advantage in Tween. That's going to be it for Tween. He has to go for the safe route, and his miracle run has came to an abrupt and crushing end as Gwen moves on to the final lap here, as he had a little bit of a no drift there, but recovers well and has a massive lead anyway. It looks as if it's going to be perhaps Aurel, Spam and Kappa keeping their positions. However, Kappa's in danger here. He needs to outscore Massa by 7 points here. And he might just be en route to do that. If Kappa makes any mistakes here, his hopes of playoffs are going to be over as well. Scrappy flirting with points lost there. In fact, not flirting, that's just all out points loss. Full fat points loss. Aurel and Spam are relatively safe in this position. Might just be taking it easy. Keeping the points they've gained. And that should be them. And Gwen finishes. Massa does get third. He doesn't get the fastest lap. Neither does Kappa, so it's all going to be down to the numbers in the end. Who's going to manage to sneak their way into the playoffs? Scrappy loses points. Matt, Afi, Bren, TMGL, Carl Jr. and Papu all lose points, but it's really nominal at the end. Let's see what the total point scores are going to result to. Massa's going to be out as far as I can see. The top 8 should stay unchanged as far as I can tell. Looks as if it's going to be Gwen in first by quite some margin. Afi second. Carl Jr. third. Papu fourth. Or maybe actually Pack fourth perhaps. Yep, Pack actually leapfrogs them up to third here now. Spam, Aurel and Kappa will round out your top 8. Massa, Tween, TMGL, Scrappy, Yannex, Bren, Riolu and Matt will be resigned to the Combine and will have to fight for their spots in Trackmania Grand League for the next season. But that has been us, ladies and gentlemen, for Trackmania Grand League Fall 2020. Unfortunately, TMGL did not manage to make it, just fell apart at the very last moment there. Very unfortunate there for TMGL. Bit of luck didn't go his way, but it just didn't happen on track here for today. Let's get the thoughts from him in just a moment though. So TMGL Trackmania Grand League Fall 2020 season is over and done with for Team Secret and yourself. Give us your closing thoughts on this step first of all.
Well, I don't know. I think pressure completely destroyed me. I don't know. I played so much worse than in practice. I have no idea what happened.
Do you think... Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, after the mistake on map 5, I was just, yeah, it's GG. Like, I cannot make it anymore.
I mean, we saw there was a very, very small potential for making it in map 6 there. But I mean, you mean the pressure? Was it the pressure of knowing you had to put on a good, like, above average performance this step?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I mean, I definitely think, as I'm sure everyone else can say, that you can definitely leave this league season with your head held high. It's been a fantastic performance, although we've had our ups and downs, as is only natural, of course. But give us your thoughts on this season overall.
Well, I played really well. I think I'm kind of really happy. I think I definitely showed that I can make playoffs next season, and I don't know. I'm kind of happy for myself, but I definitely have to like make less mistakes.
For sure. I mean, we've definitely noticed that as a progression throughout the season, that you are showing the pace and also showing the consistency, but I suppose it's about now achieving consistency in consistency almost. But how are you feeling now that you know you've got a combine to look forward to? Are you confident with the kind of players that you might come up against? Are you confident that we will be seeing you once again in Trackmania Grand League next season?
Yeah, I think so. But you never know, but yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, certainly I'd think so too. I think you've more than capable and definitely shown us the quality throughout this season. But once again, I can only reiterate to you the amount of support we've been having in the chat for you. It's been very nice to see, and I definitely recommend you take a look back and see how everyone's been with you every step of the way, and you've certainly done them justice by putting in a great performance on the track. Just unfortunate it fell a little bit short. But any final words for this season, or any final thoughts for your fans that have been cheering you on from behind the screens?
Well, thanks everyone for cheering. It motivated me throughout the whole season, and I don't know, I'm really happy that Aurel made it. He really deserved it. But yeah, it's unlucky for Massa.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I suppose not everyone can get a slice of the pie, as they say. But once again, thank you very much for your efforts so far in this season. And can't wait to see you back in the Combine and hopefully next season of Trackmania Grand League as well. But guys, that is TMGL, and unfortunately, as we saw, he will be getting put down to the Combine. Now, by no means does this mean he will then be out of Trackmania Grand League. This just simply means that he needs to go through the Combine to once again have eligibility for next season. And thank you for the late raid coming in there by Cupid. Love from Cupid and love from Iran. Well, love from everyone here in the chat as well. Hope you guys have a fantastic evening. That is going to be it for us, guys. That's going to be it from me. Of course, I've been your host, TM Scotsman. It has been a pleasure bringing Trackmania Grand League to you, ladies and gentlemen. I can only hope that I'll be able to join you next season for Trackmania Grand League. And thank you very much, of course, to Team Secret for offering me the job, so to speak, offering me the position to bring this cast to you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been my pleasure. I hope you all have very much enjoyed as much as I have, and I hope you all go on to enjoy the rest of your evening. Best of love from me, guys. I'll see you all later on.